I had dinner with Meghan Markle the other night, and she had just gotten back from the palace. I didn't talk to her really more than to say a couple words, but I know she was talking about it.
I think for Meghan, it's going to take a while before she settles down to sort of anything we might call a new career.
Meghan Markle walked into the House of Windsor believing a title was a permanent thing. The institution treated it like a subscription and spent 7 years quietly canceling it.
Brothers Prince William and Prince Harry also seemingly put their recent differences behind them.
One document at a time. Today, we're counting down 10 times the royal family shut her out, ending with the one that finished the job, a snub so cold it no longer needs a human being to carry it out. Grab your tea, because almost none of these needed a raised voice. They needed a form. The Royal Foundation was supposed to be the family business. William and Harry built it in 2009.
I think both of us, he's definitely got more brains than me. I think we've established that from school, but when it comes to all that, I think I'm much better hands-on.
And when Meghan married in, the press branded the four of them a unit and never shut up about it. 14 months later, it was over. On June the 20th, 2019, the trustees met and cut the charity in half.
After just a year of working together, Harry and Meghan are breaking away from their joint charity with William and Kate.
It was legally renamed the Royal Foundation of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. The Sussexes weren't asked to share it. They were told to go and build their own.
We approached the answer to this question by establishing the Royal Foundation, our own foundation.
And the detail that matters is where the split actually happened, not in a press release. In a name change document filed at Companies House, the same registry that handles every dry cleaner and scaffolding firm in Britain. The palace called it a way to better align their charitable activity with their new households, corporate language for a divorce. Meghan wasn't leaving the family business.
If we know how, and I certainly know how passionate I am, and Harry and I see the world so similarly in our approach of being very hands-on with things.
She was being struck off it. 9 months later came the last day. Commonwealth Day service, Westminster Abbey, the final engagement Harry and Meghan would ever perform as working royals. They arrived expecting to walk the nave in the Queen's formal procession, the way they had every year before. They were ushered straight to their seats in the second row instead. Here's the hard proof. The printed order of service.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex arrived in their seats on the second row. Shortly after, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge arrived to take their seats in the front.
Physically handed out that morning, listed William and Kate in the procession. The palace pulled the Cambridges out at the 11th hour too, purely so the optics wouldn't read as a straight demotion of the Sussexes on live television. Read that again. The institution redesigned a national ceremony at the last minute to soften how bad a seating chart looked. Buckingham Palace never explained the switch. It didn't have to. Everyone in the Abbey was holding the evidence. A year of transition and then the audit. On February the 19th, 2021, the palace confirmed there was no way back.
Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be returning as working members of the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan stepped down from royal duties last year and moved to the United States.
Meghan was formally stripped of 3 institutional roles: patron of the Royal National Theatre, patron of the Association of Commonwealth Universities, vice president of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. All 3 went back to the Queen and were handed out to working royals instead. The Queen's own statement did the work. In stepping away from the work of the royal family, it is not possible to continue with the responsibilities and duties that come with a life of public service. Then, the softener. While all are saddened by their decision, the Duke and Duchess remain much loved members of the family. Much loved. Just not much used. 2 months later, Prince Philip's funeral. Meghan was heavily pregnant with Lilibet and medically advised not to fly, so she sent a wreath instead. Custom, hand-designed, propped against the stalls inside St. George's Chapel alongside the other family tributes, with a handwritten note attached.
With regard to Meghan, we do believe that she will not travel simply because she is pregnant. Her baby is due sometime in the summer.
Concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
And here's where you have to be careful, because the internet version of this story is wrong. The wreath was not hidden. It was not binned. It was in the room and in the broadcast. What the palace did was subtler. It publicized exactly one wreath that day, the Queen's, and kept an embargo on every other tribute as private family business. Technically even-handed. Practically, it meant the only Sussex presence in that chapel got no press release, no photograph, and no line in the official record. You don't need to throw something away to make it disappear. You just decline to mention it. That's 4 down, and not one of them involved a raised voice. Every single one was a document, a schedule, or a decision to say nothing. Then the Queen died, and the next 4 stopped being administrative. They became visible. Speaking of visible, if you're enjoying this breakdown, hit that subscribe button before we get into the second half. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps. September the 19th, 2022. The state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, watched by close to half the planet. The front row of the royal section held the working monarchy.
Brothers Prince William and Prince Harry also seemingly put their recent differences behind them and walked side by side for their grandmother.
William, Kate, their children, Anne, Edward, Andrew. Harry and Meghan sat in row 2, directly behind the king and the queen consort. Protocol experts rushed to explain it as a mark of familial respect. And there's a version of that argument that holds, because precedence at a state funeral is never improvised. But look at what row 2 actually encoded. Harry is the king's son by blood. It counted for nothing. The seating chart ranked working status above parentage in front of every camera on Earth. Meghan didn't get a bad seat. She got a public filing of exactly where she now stood. The same month, the palace rebuilt its website. The Sussex biographies came off the top tier and went to the bottom of the page. Not near the bottom. The bottom. Ranked below the Duke of Gloucester, below the Duke of Kent, below Princess Alexandra, figures the average Briton could not pick out of a lineup, and sitting directly above exactly one name, Prince Andrew. Then in August 2023, the palace quietly deleted His Royal Highness from Harry's biography entirely, 3 years after the Sandringham Agreement told them to stop using it. The site runs to over 5,000 pages, aides said, and content gets revisited periodically. 5,000 pages, and the one that took 3 years to fix was the one that mattered. The Wayback Machine keeps receipts. The palace didn't announce the demotion. It published it and waited. Here's the one people still get wrong, so let's do it properly. Archie and Lilibet were not denied titles at birth out of spite. King George V's letters patent from 1917 is the rule, and under it, they simply weren't eligible. Great-grandchildren of the monarch don't qualify. Fine. But the moment Charles became king, on the 8th of September 2022, they did qualify, automatically, by law. And the palace left them listed on the succession page as Master Archie and Miss Lilibet for 6 months.
Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's children were previously styled as Master Archie Mountbatten-Windsor and Miss Lilibet Mountbatten-Windsor.
William and Kate's new titles went live almost immediately. The children's went live on March the 9th, 2023. One day after the Sussexes announced they'd christened Princess Lilibet Diana in California and forced the issue in public. 6 months of administrative delay, resolved inside 24 hours the second it got embarrassing. Then they took the house. Frogmore Cottage was the Sussexes' only secure address in Britain, gifted by Queen Elizabeth in 2018. Weeks after Spare hit the shelves, they were told to vacate. By the 29th of June 2023, the keys were back with the Crown Estate. The money is where it gets brutal. They had already repaid £2.4 million of sovereign grant funding covering the renovation, every pound of it. So the Crown reclaimed a property the Sussexes had personally paid to restore.
Frogmore Cottage remained Meghan and Harry's UK residence after they stepped down as senior working members of the royal family, although the pair had been living in California since 2020.
The keeper of the privy purse said it out loud in an official briefing, and he didn't soften a syllable. The Duke and Duchess have paid for the expenditure incurred by the sovereign grant, thus leaving the crown with a greatly enhanced asset. A greatly enhanced asset. That's the accounts department describing an eviction. Meghan didn't lose a cottage. She funded a renovation for a landlord who then changed the locks. 8 down. Everything so far left a paper trail you could pull. The last 2 are the opposite. They're about what happens when the palace says nothing at all and lets other people fill the silence. November 2023. King Charles turned 75 and Clarence House hosted a private gathering for close family. The Sunday Times ran the story that Harry and Meghan had been invited and had snubbed the king by staying in California. It traveled everywhere. It also wasn't true. The Sussex's spokesperson went on the record and stated it flatly. In response to UK media headlines, there has been no contact regarding an invitation to His Majesty's upcoming birthday. No contact. Not a declined invitation. Not a scheduling clash. Nothing was ever sent, and the palace, which could have corrected the record at any point that week, declined to comment on the guest list for a private family event. The snub wasn't Montecito refusing London. It was London never asking, and then letting the country believe the opposite. Which brings us to the 4th of August, 2026, Meghan's 45th birthday.
Oh dear.
Buckingham Palace posted nothing. Clarence House posted nothing. Kensington Palace posted nothing. No statement, no graphic, no line. She marked it herself, in black and white, on her own account. And this one cuts deeper than any seating chart or eviction notice, so let's be precise about why. From 2018 to 2021, the palace posted for her properly. Full cross-channel wishes, same as Kate, same as Camilla, same as Anne. Then in 2023, aides briefed a new rule. Non-working royals get public birthday posts only on decadal milestones, ages ending in 0. Now look at what that rule actually is, because the cruelty isn't in the wording, it's that her name isn't in it. Every other item on this list needed somebody to make a choice. Somebody drew that seating chart. Somebody signed that eviction. Somebody decided not to send that invitation. This one needs nobody. It runs by itself every August, and it will keep running long after everyone currently in that building has retired. And here's what people miss when they say a screaming row would have been worse. A fight is a relationship. An institution shouting at you is still conceding that you exist, that you matter, that you're worth the energy. The palace stopped shouting. It wrote a policy instead, and turned a member of the family into a value that only registers when her age ends in a 0. The other 9 were decisions. This one is a deletion, and nobody ever has to make it again. From a company's house filing to a birthday, nobody is required to remember. The direction never changed once in 7 years. The royal family almost never slammed a door on Meghan Markle. It kept quietly removing the reasons she had to walk through one, until there was nothing left to remove and nobody left who had to decide anything. But what do you think? Which of these 10 cut the deepest for you? The second row, the greatly enhanced asset, or the rule that made her invisible on paper? Drop your takes in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for?